Good morning and welcome to the conversation on TOS TV Network. It's Monday. It's a peaceful Monday morning here in Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. I hope you're geared up for the week because I know I am. All right, my name is Adesu Alsuyi.
And I am Sagir Ibrahim. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Good morning, Sagi. How are you doing?
Very well. Good morning, Adesu.
It's good to see you again. I mean, I didn't see you the whole weekend, so I'm just going to ask, what was your weekend like?
Well, it was short. I worked on Saturday, so...
So you didn't have a weekend?
No, I did. Sunday was free for me, so
Technically, Sunday is a weekday, so yeah, you didn't have a weekend.
Is that so? I never knew that. Anyways.
All right, so right about now, we'll bring you the quote of the day, and after which we'll bring you stories and happenings from across the African continent.
Always remember,
this man I have creative design. We really like it, but
you deserve a break. You can indulge in a cup of 3-in-1 Cadbury Hot Chocolate. Cadbury Hot Chocolate. Indulge. Now available in the 450 grams pouch.
Okay, so we move straight into development across Africa, starting from Zambia, where Zambia's government has declared 21 days of national mourning over the passing of the nation's beloved founding father, icon and global statesman, Kenneth Kaunda. On behalf of the entire nation and on my behalf, I pray that the entire Kaunda family is comforted as we mourn our first president and true African icon, President Edgar Lungu said in a message on his Facebook page.
Yeah, moving forward to Nigeria now, President Buhari to participate in ECOWAS Mid-Year Summit in Accra. President Muhammadu Buhari on Saturday will participate in the 59th Ordinary Session of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government in Accra. The President will join other heads of state and heads of government of ECOWAS for a mid-year statutory meeting of the regional bloc, with the exception of Mali, which was recently suspended from the group.
Okay, moving away from Nigeria to, this is a COVID-19 update from across Africa, not the regular one that would bring you. So on this one, senior health officials say Africa is in the midst of a full-blown third wave on COVID-19, with just 0.79% of people on the continent fully vaccinated. The total infections have crossed the 5 million mark, representing 2.9% of total cases globally, according to the Africa CDC, and at least 7 African countries have run out of vaccines.
Okay, moving away from COVID-19, the Supreme Court of the United States on Thursday threw out a lawsuit accusing food giants Nestle and Cargill for child slavery on African cocoa farms from where they buy their cocoa. 6 African men and 2 companies alleged that they were trafficked from Mali and forced to work on cocoa farms in neighboring Ivory Coast. The plaintiffs alleged that they were forced to work on the cocoa farms for 12 to 14 hours a day. They also said they were kept under armed guard while they slept in order to prevent them from escaping, and were paid little beyond basic food.
That is quite terrible. I mean, that was something that we used to hear, when slavery started, they had to take, them to work on farms and all of that stuff. And it's appalling to hear that at this time, at this day and age, that people are still being trafficked to work on cocoa farms and all of that stuff. It's like modern day slavery. It's like slavery coming back, in the 21st century.
That's it, actually. It's modern day slavery. Slavery might have been abolished, however, there are still pockets of this slavery in different parts of the world. Oh,
all right. I hope, I hope they really do get, justice that they deserve and all of that, so instead of, the lawsuit being thrown out. Okay, with that, we bring you a COVID-19 update from across Africa. And after that, we'll be bringing you newspaper headlines for this morning.
TOS TV Network mobile app is now available. You can now catch up on our breaking news, stream our programs live, Watch out for the latest update on sports and politics as they unfold. You can also get notifications for our upcoming programs and events. All these on our TOS TV Network mobile app, available on Apple Store and Google Play Store. TOS TV News from Africa by Africans.
Being a journalist means in-depth analysis that unravels hidden truths, that question the status quo and fact-checks government.
These criminal elements hiding under the cloak of surveillance contractors are the APC elements.
Do you have facts to prove that? Being a journalist means waking up every day with a burning desire for peace, equity, and justice for all citizens.
We're being told that the choice you have is to take the lesser of two evils.
It means patriotism via the prism of objectivity and accountability. It means giving my platform to the masses to discuss issues that matter to them.
Some of them, if they bring budget, and the budget they lose. Some of them sleep. They're going to ask how much we are on. I have it.
Thereby shaping government policies and laws. My name is Osasu Igmenaja, and I am the People's Journalist.
It is still the conversation on your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. And do remember, you can be part of the conversation by joining us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, by dropping your comments, chatting us up, and also watch us live at www.tostvnetwork.com. You could also watch some of our content and programs on YouTube, and please like and subscribe at TOS TV Network. Okay, it is the newspaper segment of the conversation, and the first paper of this morning, we start with the Daily Times newspaper, and just over the top, we see Buhari committed to economic diversification. And just underneath the newspaper title, the banner headline there states, many killed, 26 kidnapped as Southern Kaduna vows to reclaim lands. And underneath the picture of the day, we see economy. Nigeria loses 851 billion naira to oil theft, sabotage. CBT examination, UTME JAMB. Supervisors, candidates commend CBT exams, call for sustainability. Coas visits wounded soldiers in the hospital. There are other stories on the Daily Time newspaper of this morning. You could quickly grab a copy to have a read.
All right, away from the Daily Times newspaper to the Daily Trust newspaper, starting from the very top. 29 bandits, soldier killed in Niger, Benue gun duels. The banner headline on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning says, IPOB partners Cameroonian secessionists on training arms exchange. Buhari's 10,000 houses for Borno IDPs and refugees. Mr. President commissioned first phase of Kaleri, Borno State. Quite a number of riders under that headline. You could get yourself a copy of the Daily Trust newspaper so read up on all of those stories.
And on the Business Day newspaper of this morning, death of investment, dollars may be the end of oil, as stated on its banner headline. And just beside that, we see Nigeria among top 5 online growth markets for alcoholic drinks. And underneath that, inside, Nigeria's intra-Africa trade data show no clue for after impact. Now you could quickly grab the Business Day newspaper of this morning to read other stories.
And then moving over to the last newspaper we'll be looking at its front page this morning, and that is the Blueprint newspaper. A number of headlines scattered across the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. But the very first headline there says 29 bandits killed in Benue, Niger gunfire. NAF shells terrorists kill scores in Borno. Southeast Governor Mole talks with IPOB. And underneath that one, Nigeria better together. That's coming from President Muhammadu Buhari. And then the banner headline on the Blueprint newspaper this morning says, FGC Yori abduction. Why Kebbi chose not to negotiate with bandits. 3 riders under that headline. Security agents give hoodlums bloody nose. Kill 82, rescue 11. I'm elected to serve, not sit in government house and watch my people suffer. That's coming from Bagudu Residents expressed satisfaction with security agents' response. That's on page 6. Underneath the picture of the day, federal government urges ceasefire on El Rufai Labour Southeast crisis. Quite a number of other headlines on the Blueprint newspaper this morning. Get yourself a copy so you can read up on all of these stories.
Okay, that would be the newspaper segment of this morning. We'll go on a quick commercial break, and when we return, we'll be taking you on the big story.
You won't go shake your body. Instead, they make it calm down. Eat the farm say you sabi. You want to grow 6 packs in a day. I beg you not to pass your power. You want to show yourself, oh.
Whatever your size, find it with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# now to get the plan that suits you. Airtel, the smartphone network.
At the first sign of pain, you need a solution that you can trust to provide effective relief and is gentle on the stomach. Try Panadol Caplets for relief from headaches, body aches, and fever. With Panadol's Optizorb formula, the tablet gently breaks down in the stomach, quickly absorbs, and starts providing pain relief in 15 minutes. For fast and effective pain relief that you can trust, try Panadol Caplets. This has been Medifact for Panadol.
Welcome back. It is still the conversation on your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS TV. And do remember, you could be part of the conversation by connecting with us on our various social media channels on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, as well as watch us live on our website at www.tostvnetwork.com. Okay, it is the big story, and today's focus is going to be on Buhari's anti-corruption campaign and its impact on the economy and governance. And joining us today via phone conversation to talk about these issues is Mr. Adeni Ikunu, and he is a social affairs commentator. Thank you so much for joining us on the conversation, Mr. Ikunu.
Thank you very much for another invitation. I'm full of gratitude. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, so, sir, first, how would you assess the current administration's anti-corruption fight?
That's a big question that has to be tailored to the things we have. Pre-Buhari, now Buhari, and maybe you'll be thinking, of course, Buhari. If from a scale of 1 to 10, before the president came into office, I would easily score him 8 over 10 in terms of the intention he had to fight corruption. Then, when he came to office, the first 2 years, do not forget that there were lots of reforms he made, even if he had to wait up to 6 months to get a cabinet running. He actually enforced what has been a law, which is the Treasury single account, which I think that it's okay. Then we also know that under his watch, they were able to uncover the money at Bodilon, the various currencies that we had under his watch. So that's another plus. Then we also had a number of other findings that they were able to associate with his administration, which I believe is quite commendable. So that's going into the first 2-3 years of his administration. So, but the reality is that it actually reduced from about 8-9 over 10 to about 7-6.5 over 10 his first term. So now let's look at. Okay, it reduced because in the first place, if you do an assessment of somebody that is described as an anti-corruption warlord, there are certain things that you should not also accommodate, because we knew that there were many people who had lots of baggage they were dealing with that switched to the APC, and their issues were hushed. So that actually was the reason I have to score him less than the time it took off or before it took office. So Let's quickly switch to the second term now. Now, this second term, the highlight of the second term actually has to do with the COVID-19 pandemic palliative. As I speak, the ICPC gave us a lead that 2.6 billion naira was not accounted for. And there were many of such kinds of monies that didn't follow due process before they actually eventually got it. Do not also forget that a lawmaker at the House of Reps representing one of the districts in Delta State discovered that there were lots of Chinese agreements we had which were brought to us in Chinese language, and those things were signed. I do not also forget that a minister in the cabinet of the president, in the person of Mr. Rotimi Chibuike had said that if the lawmakers spoke too much, the Chinese people will cease from giving us the money we need to execute the projects they had agreed to undertake with it. So I do not think those things are very tasty on our birds because you can't be talking about fighting corruption and the processes or procedures that you deploy in dealing with issues are contrary to what the anti-corruption itself stands for. So I must say that in this second term, the president has fallen to about 4.5 over 10. That is really about 4 to 4.5 over 10. Maybe before he runs off the administration, we could have about 3 or 2 over 10. Not so much that the president himself is actually taking something from the coffers, but if a president has a cabinet and the cabinet is not doing such things as would make us commend the man who brings them to office, then it also affects him because he's the number one citizen of the country. So that or those are my reasons for the assessment.
Okay, so looking at it now, you gave a little bit of a scorecard.
Yes.
But my question now would be, in your opinion, would you say the anti-corruption fight has impacted the activities of corruption, be it in the country or within the cabinet?
Okay, let me say this, because there's a way I'll describe, well, let me say that, yes, it does. The man who manages the national health scheme of the country, a certain professor, was relieved of his appointment. Babacha Lawal was relieved of his appointment. The one who used to head the National Broadcasting Commission was relieved of his appointment. At the instance that we heard that these people did what they shouldn't do, and there were lots of pressures before these people left. But I also expect that an Ali Issa Pantami should have been relieved of his appointment, and that's why the president, I'm going to take another one mark on. So the president has got about 3.5 over 10, especially with the Ali Issa Pantami case, to the extent that the president came to the defense of a man that had a penchant to support insurgents that are destroying even the strength of this administration. And it was so insultive that people, especially Uncle Lai Mohammed, at some point came to his defense. Garba Shehu came to his defense. I think that the federal government should understand that it's a very, very bad precedent to set that somebody with evidence in your administration had a thing. Do not forget that for somebody to actually countenance the things that are done by insurgents and giving some logic around why those things are done, it's an ideology ingrained. And in fact, I should say that a lecturer who is now with the Kaduna State University had pinpointedly linked Alisa Pantami. It's a very well-researched publication and interview in the Punch newspapers that came out. That's about May, the second week of May. I can't put a hand to one of the days where Alisa Pantami was the one that actually pronounced the fatwa, resulting in the death of his son, who was wrongly accused of blasphemy of the Islamic religion. So when a minister in the president's cabinet has such very, very worrying antecedents, the president should also have gone the way he did Babacha Lawal, the way he eventually did a lot of other persons. Do not forget that under this administration, the former helmsman of the DSS was also relieved of his appointment. So I must say that to those extent that I have referred to, the Buhari administration has actually also drunk from its own water of anti-corruption, because corruption is not only financial. If processes are bungled, it's also corrupted processes. So to that extent, I say that certain steps have been taken by this administration But the top one that they should have taken, that perhaps would have left the president at 5/10, was that of Alisa Pantami, who is still a minister. And let me also say this. Why you'd understand that this man, actually, the Alisa Pantami, holds a fundamental position. Let me tell you, anybody who is in the cabinet of a secular state cannot for any reason exhibit the conservatism or the extreme position he holds with his religion. There was a particular time the president arrived from somewhere and Alisa Pantami had to receive him. The same Alisa Pantami blocked off from the president the senator representing Lagos Central, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, from having a handshake with the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This is the same president, our president, that will go to international meetings and he will shake hands with all the female leaders there. Why would the president do what he cannot do at home in a way? Actually, these are very deep questions. So the Alisa Pantami is still essentially a suspect and a corrupter of this cabinet of the president that must be removed on the leave of disappointment, and they must check everything about him if at all is not part of the problem with Boko Haram. And I'm very serious about this, because if a man is telling us that he has repented of his countenance of extremism, he blocked off a minister, a lawmaker of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I don't have the video. If I had it, I would have reposted it. I posted it the other time. So these are very serious concerns for this administration, financially, and the procedures, and of course those that occupy his cabinet.
Okay,
some of them.
Yes, sir. So back to this administration's anti-corruption fights.
Yes,
so, Mr. Akunu, juxtaposing this government with its predecessor, would you say it has been more transparent due to these anti-corruption fights?
Okay, let me say that it's usually very challenging doing a holistic assessment of any administration, the world over particularly, because of the powers of incumbency. I must say that all of what Diziani did that have come to light now, the things she did, perhaps would never have come to light if Goodluck Jonathan had another opportunity to serve the country in the capacity as president. But the reality is the Buhari administration still enjoys a lot that comes under the cover of power of incumbency. Do not forget that we cannot charge the president to court, but we can definitely investigate him, because many people don't understand. When a president has immunity, it means you can't drag him to court, but you can definitely investigate him. So we must say that many things can't come in the open. Do not also forget that I must give the administration credit for relieving Ibrahim Magu of his appointment. Let me add that to what they have done, but we still have not heard what the Justice Salami retired report tells us about him and whether Ibrahim Magu should be sent to jail or not. Because for them to have removed him from office, the allegations were weighty. So I must say here that it is very key in this conversation to really allow this administration round off its term, so we'll be able to put them on the same scale of having served, to have a holistic assessment. For instance, the president is the one that appoints the Inspector General of Police, that appoints the chief security officers of the country, that appoints the anti-corruption Caesar. The president is the one that appoints the INEC chairman. And these are very important institutions in the country where whatever it is they've done, there could be limitations or that they really need approval to reveal certain things. So we may not be able to get a good, what I'll call comparative analysis of who is more corrupt or not between them. So I'll patiently wait for the end of the administration of the president in 2023, so we can put them side by side and do it. But in the interim, the credit that I've given as such, but we can only do an assessment going forward with what we find or what we're able to unravel ourselves in the course of our investigation.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Akunu, for joining the conversation. Unfortunately, we're out of time.
Yeah, thank you also for inviting me. I appreciate every moment to tell me to add value. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And thank you guys for joining us on the conversation this morning. Don't forget the conversation comes to you every weekday, same time. And that means we'll be coming to you tomorrow. But before then, you should join the TOS TV Network community by following us across all social media platforms. That's TOS TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And of course, subscribe to TOS TV Network on YouTube so you do not miss out on our amazing content. You can also stream the conversation and other content on www.tostvnetwork.com. My name is Adesu Alsi.
And I am Sagir Ibrahim. Thank you so much for watching.